Good morning, Nevada and all our neighboring states. I'm Peter Lykopoulos, and this is the October 6th edition of Rural Nevada Today, brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Southern Nevada. We're back in the studio this morning. Hey, you know, we went through 18 states. This was the type of vacation that even though it lasted a month, I'll tell you what, I could have stayed much longer. It was great. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have our first trivia question right now. What subject do you think I'm going to be talking about this morning? Well, hey, if you said the debate, you guessed right. I think the best line of the debate came from Mitt Romney in response to the current occupant of the White House stating that he had raised his 5 sons and that he was used to people telling things that were untrue. He wasn't so far off. The current occupant of the White House misstated 6 times on major issues. Now, to be fair, Mitt Romney misstated 5 times. However, these misstatements, they really weren't full misstatements. We're going to cover that on today's show. You be the judge, and I want to hear from you on that. Give me a call at 702-257-5396. That number again is 702-257-5396. I'll tell you what, the most prophetic statement came from the occupant of the White House in reference to his being married to Michelle. It was their wedding anniversary when he stated that next year they would not have to celebrate their anniversary in front of 40 million people. We can only pray that that be the case. Now, the best excuse, although I'll tell you what, they did come up with one afterwards. Now, the best excuse that I think for the current occupants of the White House did so poorly at the debate comes from Al Gore when he stated that the current occupant of the White House got to Denver at 2 o'clock the afternoon of the debate, whereas Romney was in Denver and they practiced in Denver. You know, Denver is at 5,000 feet. Well, he implied that the altitude was the cause of the current occupant of the White House doing so poorly in the debate. And, you know, you got to believe the guy because, after all, he is the man who invented the Internet. Now, they have come out with some other excuses since then. And I got to tell you, running right up there with the Gore thing, you've got, you know, Romney lied so many times. Poor Obama. He was shell-shocked. He just couldn't believe it. He just couldn't keep up with the lies. You got to be kidding me. Now, in the sign of the times, unemployment applications for last week. Let me repeat this. For last week, and you got to wonder, how did unemployment go down? Unemployment applications for 1 week, 367,000. Remember, we're going into the Christmas season. You know, that time of year when people go out and spend money on friends and relatives. You know, that time of the year when companies start hiring seasonal help to get enough people on the floor for their business to cover the increased shoppers. Not this year. We have another new 367,000 new unemployment applications for this week. I want to repeat that. This week, not for the month, not for the year. 360,000 new unemployment applications in 1 week. Don't worry, the economy is roaring back. After all, even with the 367,000 new applications for unemployment, hey, unemployment dropped at 0.3%. And as Jim Dellis pointed out before the show, isn't that convenient? It dropped down to a level just below where it was when the current occupant of the White House took office. Now, I'll tell you what, this comes off the AP wire. The number of Americans seeking unemployment benefits rose to a seasonally adjusted 367,000, a level consistent with only modest hiring. Weekly applications increased the previous week by 4,000. Now, last week's total was 363,000. So we had, folks, that's 750,000 people applied for unemployment in the past 2 weeks. But don't worry, the unemployment rate went down 0.3%. You've got to be kidding me. Now, and it is higher than the initial reading of 359,000. Now, the average weekly has been less volatile, but has unchanged. The average weekly, we've got 375,000 people applying for unemployment each and every week. But don't forget, don't worry about that. I don't want you to be confused by these numbers because, hey, the unemployment rate went down by 0.3%. We are averaging 375,000 new unemployment applications. Now, Joshua Shapiro, the U.S. chief economist for Manufacturers Inc., said the figures are consistent with a soft but by no means collapsing labor market. Tell you what, if you don't have a job, it's collapsing. If you've got a job and you're getting paid some exorbitant fee for being a consultant, it's not so bad. But you know what? The people who applied, it's collapsing to them. Now, the unemployment benefit applications are a measure of the pace of layoffs. When consistently falling below 375,000, it typically indicates that hiring is strong enough to lower the unemployment rate. So just in time, But do you remember the old days when Christmas was coming in, people picked up part-time jobs because everybody and their brother was hiring people? Now, the application stayed mostly near or above that level since spring, coinciding with a week stretch of hiring. The government reports on Friday on September hiring and unemployment. There were also 2 unemployment reports just left before the election. So Friday's figure, well, they did have an impact. We went down 0.3%. Now, believe me, when I tell you they're going to come back and they're going to say, whoops, we made a mistake, they'll readjust this. Now, we also today, if I got time to cover it, we are going to cover a story that comes out of the Lakeland Times out of Minocqua, Wisconsin. The fiscal cliff is closer than you think. It states that the average family would lose nearly $3,500 of annual income if the Bush tax cuts expire on January 1st, 2013. I'll try and cover this story. It's an important story. If I don't cover it today, I will cover it next week. It goes in depth. I mean, for a little newspaper, they did a whole lot of research, and they did a great job because it goes in depth. It breaks down on where your money is going. Now, we're 31 days away from the election. And you know what? If you're not registered to vote, today is the last day to go out and register to vote for this election. Early voting starts October 20th. Get out there, register to vote. I don't see, this election is going to determine if we have 4 more years of the current occupant of the White House, which will forever change our nation. We will become a third world nation. This is an important vote. We're going to be talking about that today. And once again, I do want to hear from you. Give me a call at 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396. And yeah, you know what? With everything else going on, there's still NFL football to console us. Now, it was great being in Wisconsin and Chicago with all the football junk. You can't believe it. You walk in, they got all the team flavors. It's incredible to walk in. It's just a solid mess. You got all of that going on. Plus, you got a huge side helping of real hometown enthusiasm for your local team. Well, like so many of us, so often this time of year, we have to watch what we get on football. So tomorrow, football fans, 10 o'clock, Fox 5, you got the 3-1 Philadelphia Eagles at the 1-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. CBS at 10 o'clock also, you have the 3-1 Baltimore Ravens at the 1-3 Kansas City Chiefs. Then Sunday Night Football, you've got at 5:20 on NBC3, you've got the 3-1 San Diego Chargers at the 0-4 New Orleans Saints. With the bounty issue and everything that happened in the past season, 4-1 couldn't happen to a better team. Now, on Monday night at 6:30, you've got the 4-0 Houston Texans against the 2-2 New York Jets. People, enjoy your games. We are going to have all of the contests. We're still going to run a double contest. Now, give us a call at 702-257-KDWN. That number again is 702-257-5396. Now it's time for the live gold, silver market commodities report at the close of business on Friday, October 6th. Gold closed for $1,792 an ounce. Gold went up $17.30 since last week. Silver closed at $35.03 an ounce, making for a 35-cent increase. Now, we're going to have first of all, this week's gold report was brought to us by Round Mountain Gold.
What can a gold mine do for a county's economy? Round Mountain Gold, a joint venture with Kinross Gold Corporation located in northern Nye County, has been helping the people of Nye County and the state of Nevada for years. Today, Round Mountain Gold employs close to 800 people and is the largest private taxpayer in Nye County. Round Mountain is dedicated to preserving the mining tradition and creating jobs in mining for generations to come. If you are interested in pursuing a career in mining, call 775-377-3137. That's 775-377-3137. Interested in seeing modern gold mining at work? Then call 775-377-3169 for a tour. Or go to nevadamining.org to learn more about what mining does for Nevada.
Okay, it is contest time. Now, your first question, you're going to be playing for a topographical map from Rick at Desert Outfitters. Don't forget, Rick at Desert Outfitters is a 3340 West Cyrus. You can go in. He's got all kinds of things that you need for your hunt that's coming up, along with the topographical maps. He's got all types of camping things and a lot of safety things, as well as a full supply of mining. Now, that is Rick at Desert Outfitters at 3340 West Cyrus. The question I'm going to ask, you can get that topographical map or you get the knife from Cool Radiator. What animal did I see in great abundance when I was in the woods in northern Wisconsin? We'll be back with your calls right after this break.
Nestled on the Nevada-California border in the Sandy Valley sits Two Hawk Ranch. Surrounded by thick, lush fields of locally grown alfalfa, Two Hawk Ranch has bulk and cubes available. If you have not tried alfalfa cubes, let the good folks at Two Hawk Ranch explain to you the value of feeding your horses cubes. And you decide which of these great products you wish to feed your animal. Horse and livestock owners with a great supply of locally grown alfalfa, where you can buy direct from the owner. Why would you buy from anyone else? Call Jared or Kale at 702-723-5375. That number again, 702-723-5375. Or drive out the Sandy Valley and follow the signs. You'll be able to see the green fields of Two Hawk Ranch long before you get there. Two Hawk Ranch. They'll always treat you right.
I like baseball. I love milk. My milk's low in calories and high in vitamins and minerals. My milk comes from cows in beautiful Nevada. Cows and milk are the power behind the play.
Icy cold local milk from your local dairyman gives you that power. Low-fat and fat-free milk are naturally nutrient-rich.
Baseball and milk keep me healthy and fit.
Quality, icy cold, local milk from your local dairyman.
The power behind the play.
The phone lines are open. Call Peter now at 702-257-5396.
Okay, I got a question for you. I want to know, what animal did I see in great abundance when I was in the woods in northern Wisconsin? Give me a call at 702-257-5396. That number again is 702-257-5396. And we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, Peter, was it turkey?
It was turkey, absolutely. We don't have time to get to it before the election, but after the election, I got to do a show on turkey, probably for Thanksgiving. Now, you won that. It's your choice. What would you like, the topographical map or the knife from Cool Radiator?
Yes, I'd like the map.
The map. All right, I'll be mailing you off a certificate this morning, and we'll get that out to you, okay?
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
All right, now wait a minute. Hold on, because Jim has to get your name and address, okay?
Okay.
Hey, thanks for calling and listening to the show, okay? All right, and he won the topographical map from Desert Outfitters. Now, we're going to give you out another question. I want to know what year, this is for a $25 gift certificate from Off the Strip, what year was the first year for the turkey permits, okay? So I want to know, what year was that first year for the turkey permits?
You're still using that beat-up old piece of firewood?
The Green Hornets caught more fish than you've lied about, Gustafson.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you heard from Grumpy Old Men, so I'll tell you what that means. It's time for the fishing report. Now, anglers are finding a lot of topwater action for stripers. Now, they're feeding on gizzard and threadfin shad. Now, success has come to anglers using a variety of techniques, from trolling in the Boulder Basin to shore fishing in coves near Temple Bar. Striped bass are hitting on spinners, AC plugs, shad jigs. There are also, there's a lot of largemouth bass being caught around the Kingman Wash. So you want to head out into that area. Beautiful time to be out on the lakes this time of year. I was out this morning driving in. Weather is getting really nice. Now at Lake Mojave, near Cottonwood Cove, shore anglers have been bringing in both catfish and largemouth bass using anchovies. Out at Willow Beach, they're still offering up a good day's fishing for many of the striped bass. Over 10 pounds are being caught. AC plugs are credited for many of these larger fish. Now, in the urban ponds, catfish action is still good in the wake of this Friday. It just happened. Fridays, they've planted fish, so it'll be a good time to get out there. Fishing is also good for bluegill, with much of the action coming on mealworms. Now, if you're heading up into Kirsch Wildlife Management Area in northern Nye County, Haymeadow, and Adams-McGill are both providing good action for largemouth bass. Reports on rainbow trout have been hit or miss. However, the water temperatures are cooling, so the fishing should start improving. The roads to the management area are in good condition, but there's plenty of mosquitoes, so they're saying bring some insect repellent. Now, after the fishing report, we're going to be giving you a report on a lady that just died from the virus that's going around from the mosquitoes. So we're going to be covering that. Now, we got a caller. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes. Was it 1968?
No, it wasn't in 68.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Hey, have a great day, and thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, once again, I am looking. We've got a question out there. I want to know what year did turkey season start in Wisconsin? Give me a call at 702-257-KDWN. That's 702-257-5396. So, like I said, after the fishing report, we're going to talk about this West Niles virus for a little bit just to make people aware of it. But if you are going to be going out to some of these reservoirs, make sure you've got some mosquito repellent or something on, okay? Now, up in Lincoln County, Eagle Valley Reservoir, fall has been great for the bass action. You know, they're still in the summer mode. Now, anglers are catching fish using night crawlers and lures. Rainbow trout action continues to be good using small spinners, power baits, and night crawler. Now, out at Echo Canyon, largemouth bass and crappie continue to provide anglers with good fishing. Crappie are being taken on small jigs as well as worms. Bass are hitting on night crawlers and lures. Trout action continues to improve with power baits and night crawlers catching fish. Now, once again, I want to know, for a $25 gift certificate to Off the Strip, what was the first year of Wisconsin's turkey season? Give us a call at 702-257-5396. Now, this week's fishing report was brought to us by Cool Radiator.
It's a great time of the year to check out your car or truck and make sure it's running to get the best gas mileage or to make sure it's ready for that long road trip. The question is, who can you trust to do the job right? Well, how about taking it to the guy we've been talking about for the last 14 years? That's Daryl at Cool Radiator. Cool Radiator at 3228 West Meade Avenue can take care of all your automotive needs, from that tune-up to oil changes to that radiator job that you've been putting off. Well, now's the time to call Daryl at Cool Radiator at 362-1964. That number again is 362-1964. Or just stop by and see Daryl at 3228 West Meade Avenue. And as always, hunting and fishing talk is welcomed. Campers, stop by and see all of Daryl's enamel and cast iron cookware. That's Daryl at Cool Radiator at 3228 West Meade Avenue.
Okay, you listen to Rural Nevada Today show, and I'm Peter Lycopoulos. So we got a question out there. I want to know, what year was the first year for the turkey hunt in Wisconsin? Give me a call at 702-257-KDWN. That's 702-257-5396. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, 1983.
You know what? You're absolutely correct. How did you know that?
I did some research.
Yeah, the computer's a wonderful thing. I always sit here and say, how do I stump them? I get this stuff off the computer. Good job. I love it. Do you hunt?
Yes.
You know, I'll tell you what. We had an opportunity, like I say, around Thanksgiving, I'm going to do this show. We had an opportunity to have turkey here over the counter, and we just didn't listen to the Turkey Federation. When I left back home in Chicago, we were just getting turkey, and they were in southern Illinois. There were little or no turkey at all in Wisconsin, and now in northern Wisconsin, not only are they there, but they're thriving. 1983, they had 1,200 turkey permits were put up for sale. Now, in 2011, they don't know what 2012 is. You can buy tags throughout the year during the hunting season in Wisconsin. But last year, 100,000 hunters purchased 225,000 turkey tags. You know, I go to Wisconsin, you always see the deer everywhere. Still seeing the deer, but the turkey were everywhere. So if you would, sir, hang on. I need to get your name and number, and then...
Actually, it wasn't computer research. I'm at work, and a good friend of mine is from Green Bay.
Oh, well, you got actual hands-on. That's even better. You're still, I can only give you $25, even though you had a good source, okay?
All right, thank you.
Hey, hold on, and Jim will get your name and address. Sir, thanks for calling.
Thank you. Have a
You're
nice
welcome,
day.
sir. Okay, now we've got a little bit of time left in the show, but for this segment, want to mention a 75-year-old woman became the first person who died of the West Nile virus in southern Nevada. And you've got two. There were 4 cases. Now, 2 of the cases, you got a 68-year-old woman and a 64-year-old man. They remain hospitalized, and this is a potentially fatal form of the disease. Now, a horse that contracted the disease had to be euthanized. The name of the woman who died was held because because of privacy laws. You can't go into it. Now, there was a 25-year-old woman who was diagnosed with the disease. She was hospitalized, and she was released. What happens is for older people as well as younger people with this West Nile virus, you've got to be real careful because it's a fatal disease. The other problem that you have with the disease, it can leave you paralyzed. So now people who have horses or people who have been around mosquitoes, if you're in the outdoors, especially this time of year, you've got to be careful. Use that mosquito repellent. You might want to call your vet and check and see if there's anything, if you need to get your horses inoculated or what have you. Now, they're saying that what they're finding is you got to be careful in the 98145 zip code, which is out on the west side. And you also in 89, I want to say the first one again, it's 89145. The other zip code that they found it in was 89104. That doesn't mean anything. That just means that that's where they found it. It could crop up anywhere. But you got to take a look at that. And if you have any of the symptoms, get in and see a doctor right away. But, stay away from green swimming pools. I mean, if you're not using your swimming pool or if you don't have the money to put the chemicals in, drain it. Get everything out of there. Any puddles of water, drain it. I'll tell you the other thing, too. If you've got like a consistent puddle of water that's around your house, one of the things that we used to do is put a couple of drops of motor oil in it. It coats the eggs and the mosquitoes. So if you've got, a sprinkler is leaving a little puddle all the time, you want to take care of these things because this is something serious. It's not, don't just blow this off. This is something that you want to take a look at. Now, as of September 25th of this year, the Center of Disease Control has reported 3,545 cases of West Nile virus. That's all across the country. Out of those 3,500 plus people, you had 147 deaths. 1,816 of these people were classified with a disease that affects your spinal column. 1,729 of them had a lesser form of the disease. But you can just get sick, or it can go into this neurological disease. So it's about 50-50 on how that happens. So like I say, if you're going to be in the outdoors, if you're going to be fishing, if you're going to be in the woods, especially they've reported that there's a lot of mosquitoes in that northern Nye County by Kirsch Wildlife Management area. You want to wear long sleeves. Best thing is just get yourself some spray, some mosquito repellent. You're going to be okay. But monitor that, watch it. You want to make sure that you're going along real well with that. You don't just blow this off. It's kind of important. I don't like bringing up stories like this, but this type of story, you got to be warned about what's going on, especially this time of year when you're out in the woods. For those people who are either around horses, or if you're going to be in woods, if you're going to be fishing, we've got these little ponds and you got all of these mosquitoes, be very careful. Now, we're going to have to go to break fairly soon, but when we come back from break, we've got a fact check that was put together. We're going to go through statements that were made. You be the judge of how bad these were. We'll be back right after this.
Eagles fans, looking for a great place for gaming as well as watching all the games? A place where you have daily football parlay cards and gamblers bonus? Then stop by Off the Strip on Tropicana just west of Grand Canyon. Off the Strip has all kinds of football specials including $2.50 domestic draft beer and special game fare. So if you're looking for a place that is a step above the rest, then stop by Off the Strip at 9837 West Tropicana. Then you and the Eagles will both have a great season.
Jumping on a trampoline can leave you thirsty, but most drinks out there are high in calories and low in vitamins and minerals and lack a very important thing. The power behind the play. Milk from your local dairyman gives you that power. Low-fat and fat-free milk are naturally nutrient-rich, keeping you healthy and fit. So after all that jumping, ask for quality, icy-cold local milk from your local dairyman. It's the power behind the play. Visit dairycouncilutnv.org.
There's nothing like going hunting, whether it's a big game hunt of a lifetime or just a local bird hunt with close friends. Hunts never last as long as you want them to, and when the hunt is over, the only thing that's left is the memory of that hunt. So to preserve those memories, you mount your game, and every time you look at that mount, it takes you back to that hunt, and you remember every detail of it. That's why, with all the time and effort that you put into your hunt, and getting that trophy, you deserve the best taxidermy possible. Here in Southern Nevada, that means Scott at Great Basin Taxidermy. Scott can do head and shoulder mounts, rugs, full-body mounts, mounts in natural habitat. He also does birds, fish, and small game mounts. So when you need a taxidermist, call Scott at Great Basin Taxidermy. That's 368-1848. That number again is 368-1848. That's Great Basin Taxidermy at 3894 West Spring Mountain Road. Great Basin Taxidermy, creating hunting memories in Southern Nevada since 1988.
Scoring touchdowns can leave you thirsty, but most drinks out there are high in calories and low in vitamins and minerals and lack a very important thing. The power behind the play. Milk from your local dairyman gives you that power. Low-fat and fat-free milk are naturally nutrient-rich, keeping you healthy and fit. So after the big touchdown, ask for quality, icy-cold local milk from your local dairyman. It's the power behind the play. Visit dairycouncilutnv.org.
The phone lines are open. Call Peter now at 702-257-5396.
Well, welcome back to the show. Now, we're going to get into this fact check that they had put together. This comes off of the AP. If you've got any comments on this, give me a call. I'd like to hear what you thought about the debate, who you thought won. Give me a call at 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396. Many of the people, Democrats included, felt that Romney won the debate. Why Romney won the debate, that varies from he did a good job all the way to the altitude, to Obama was stunned by the amount of lies that Romney had said. Well, we'll go through these untruths that were come up with. Now, on this fact check, what they had found was 11 untruths, 6 from Obama, 5 from Romney. I don't want to downplay what Romney were the mistakes he made, but I'll give you these things and you tell me what you think. Which one were the big ones? Which one were the little ones? And you let it go from there. Once again, give me a call. If you got any comment on this, I'd like to hear from you. That's 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Now, Obama, his first thing is, I propose a specific $4 trillion deficit plan, reduction plan. The way we do that is $2.50 for every cut. We ask $1 of additional revenue. Now, these are the facts. And promising $4 trillion, Obama is already banking more than $2 trillion from legislation enactments, along with the Republicans last year that cut agency operations budget and capped them for 10 years. He also claims more than $8 billion in more savings that will occur. And he's using creative bookkeeping to hide the spending on Medicare reimbursements to doctors. Those cuts take away the Obama $2.50 to $1 ratio in spending on cuts in tax increases and shifts a significant amount directly to tax increases. Obama's February budget offer proposal that would cut the deficit over the coming decade by more than $2 trillion instead of $4 trillion. So it's like, gee, he doubled the prices. Of the deficit reduction, tax increase would account for $1.6 trillion. He promised a small spending cut. Spending cut is $500 billion. He is at $597 billion from big federal projects such as Medicare and Medicaid. He is also proposing higher spending on infrastructure. So where's he getting his money from? First of all, it's not a fourth trillion cut. It's a $2 trillion cut. And he's expecting to get $1.5 trillion out of your pocket. Now, Romney, and to me, I think that's a big gaffe. Okay, I don't think that's a minor gaffe. He doubled the amount of his reduction. And it's just like the stimulus with the shovel-ready jobs. He's got shovel-ready jobs. He's putting boots on the ground. He's putting shovels on the ground. And then giggle, giggle, chuckle, chuckle. A year later, well, it wasn't quite as shovel-ready as we expected. This $4 trillion deficit reduction plan, he gets reelected 2 years down the road. He'll say, well, gee, that reduction didn't quite work out, but gee, we did get the $2 trillion. The man flat out lied. Now, on Romney, he stated that Obama healthcare puts in place an unelected board that is going to tell people ultimately what kind of treatment they'll have to do. I don't like this idea. Now, here's the facts. Romney's referring to an independent payment advisory board, a panel of experts that would have the power to force Medicare cuts if costs rise above a certain level. Now, Congress fails to act. But Obama's health care law explicitly prohibits the board from rationing care, shifting the cost to retirees, restricting benefits, and raising medical eligibility. So the board really doesn't have the power to dictate to the doctors what treatments they can prescribe. You want to get a clarification on this because even to me, that's fuzzy. I think this is a small gaffe. Even to me, reading this, it's fuzzy. Why are so many doctors getting out of the medical profession? The other thing, too, is if you have anybody who's a veteran, you take a look at what they're getting as far as VA benefits go, how long they got to wait for those benefits, and how long it takes to get it approved. Because that's exactly what the rest of us are getting. Because the veterans aren't getting that good of care. Everything is, it's not quite rationed, but you've got to wait for everything. Talk to any veteran who's getting VA benefits on their medical, because that's what you're going to be looking at. Now, Obama. Over the last 2 years, healthcare premiums have gone up. It's true, but they've gone up slower than at any time in the last 50 years. So we're beginning to see some real progress. In the meantime, folks out there with insurance, you're already getting a rebate. Now, here's the facts, okay? And this drives me nuts because we did a show on this, 2 years ago about how healthcare was going to go up. This isn't so. Concerning healthcare, Obama's mixing the overall healthcare spending, which has grown at a historically low levels, and healthcare premiums, which continue to rise faster than wages, and the overall growth of the economy. It is what is going on with the healthcare premium that is what is messing up our economy right now. Now, the premiums for job-based family coverage has risen $2,400 since 2009 when Obama took office, according to a nonpartisan Kaiser Family Foundation. In 2011, premiums jumped by 11%. This year, it was a 4% increase, was more manageable, but the price tag for family coverage stands at $15,745, with employees paying more than $4,300 of it, the employers paying the rest. It's gone up higher than at any other time. It isn't going down lower. It's going up higher, and it's going up higher because of the changes that they're expecting under Obamacare. Now, when it comes to the insurance rebates under Obama's health care law, less than 10% of the people with private health care insurance would benefit. More than 160 million people under the age of 65 have private insurance through their jobs and are buying their own policies. Now, according to the administration, about 13 million of these people would benefit from rebates. 13 million out of 106 million, out of 160 million. Once again, less than 10%. Once again, we got more misgivings. Now, Romney, on the failure of Obama's economic policy, this one, it's almost too ridiculous to read, but they caught him with 5 mistruths. This is one of the mistruths that Romney stated. Talking about Obama's economic policy, the proof of that is 23 million people out of work. The proof is 1 out of every 6 people in poverty, the proof that we've gone from $32 million people on food stamps to 47 million people on food stamps, the proof is that 50% of the college graduates can't find work. Okay, now, I don't think that was a misstatement, but here's the facts. The number of unemployed is 12.5 million, not 23 million. So he blew it by almost half. Now, he's also counting 8 million people who have part-time jobs would like to find full-time jobs. So now we're going to count a person who has a part-time job who is looking for a full-time job. We're going to count that part-time worker as a person with a job. And let's not forget the 2.6 million people looking for work because they're discouraged and because going back to school for other reasons, they can't get a job. So once again, add that up. His comment probably should have been unemployed or underemployed. So if he would have said underemployed, we'd have been okay. But yeah, there's 23 million people aren't getting the amount of money that they used to. Now, his figures are closer to right in the earlier debate, leaving only part-time workers. He said that the U.S. has 23 million people out of work or stopped looking for work. But he was wrong in inserting that Obama came into office facing 23 million people out of work. At the start of Obama's presidency, only 12 million people were out of work. 12 million people out of work or underemployed versus 23 million. God, this plan's working. How's Hope and Change going for you? Going pretty good. Are things going all right for you? Give me a call at 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396. We got to go to break.
Jumping on a trampoline can leave you thirsty, but most drinks out there are high in calories and low in vitamins and minerals and lack a very important thing. The power behind the play. Milk from your local dairyman gives you that power. Low-fat and fat-free milk are naturally nutrient-rich, keeping you healthy and fit. So after all that jumping, ask for quality, icy-cold local milk from your local dairyman. It's the power behind the play. Visit dairycouncilutnv.org.
What can a gold mine do for a county's economy? Round Mountain Gold, a joint venture with Kinross Gold Corporation located in northern Nye County, has been helping the people of Nye County and the state of Nevada for years. Today, Round Mountain Gold employs close to 800 people and is the largest private taxpayer in Nye County. Round Mountain is dedicated to preserving the mining tradition and creating jobs in mining for generations to come. If you are interested in pursuing a career in mining, call 775-377-3137. That's 775-377-3137. Interested in seeing modern gold mining at work? Then call 775-377-3169 for a tour. Or go to nevadamining.org to learn more about what mining does for Nevada. If you want to advertise during this show, call Peter at 882-2865. That's 882-2865.
Well, welcome back to the show. You're listening to Rural Nevada Today, brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Southern Nevada. And like I say, if you got a comment, you want to say something on the show, you want to talk about what happened on the debate, give me a call at 257-5396. That number again is 257-5396. And we got a caller. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. How you doing, caller?
Yeah, what happened to your station? It got real staticky all of a sudden. I can't hear it.
Could you start that over again?
Huh?
Start what you were saying over again. I got you like mid-sentence.
Your station got real static. I can't hear it.
What? There's static on the line?
Yes, real bad. You can't hear the station.
Okay. All right, we'll have our people look into it. Thanks for calling us, ma'am. Okay, if you've got any comments on this, give us a call at 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-5396. They go in, one of the comments that the current occupant of the White House stated is, it's important that we take some money that we're saving, as we wind down two wars to rebuild America. The fact is, often repeated claim is based on fiction. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan were paid for mostly by borrowed money. So stopping the wars doesn't create a new pool of available cash that can be used someplace else, like rebuilding America. It just takes government borrowing and brings it down. Okay, we got another caller, and we'll get ready to take that call. But, you take a look at these things, and it's important to really have listened. I'll call you on the air. How you doing? Go ahead, caller.
Well, I just wanted you to know your signal's coming in clear. There's no static on the signal this morning.
Okay, it just packets from wherever you go. With.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much, sir. Okay. Any comments on what happened at the debate? Give us a call, 702-257-5396. I'm talking about not the static debate. I'm talking about the presidential debate. Give me a call. So here we go. This is, and it's not to say that we're not benefiting by stopping the war, because we will quit borrowing, but it's not like there's going to be a peace dividend like what happened when the first Bush came in and he said, well, now we've had this Cold War, there was a peace dividend, and that quickly got eaten up because you're going to always have some type of problems. We just were fighting now a different war than what we had in the Cold War. Now, Romney, he says at the same time, gasoline prices have doubled under the president. Electric rates have gone up. I don't even know why they're questioning that. Gas was $1.79 a gallon. And folks, under the Obama administration, he's totally taken out coal. Remember the coal plant? We talked about this, the coal plant up in Ely? That's why your gas, tell me what your electric rates were. That I don't know what they've got on the problem, but we'll see what happens. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Peter.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I was hoping Obamacare handled whoop ass.
And explain that.
I think Obama had his ass handed to him on the debate. Romney just kicked.
You're coming in real rough.
All right, I'll call back off with my headset.
All right, thanks a lot. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. Now, Obama comes across with Romney's Central Economic Plan calls for a $5 trillion tax cut. On top of extensions in the Bush tax cuts, and another $1 trillion, $2 trillion in additional military spending that the military hasn't asked for. It's $8 trillion. How we pay for that, reduce the deficit, and make investments that we need to make work without dumping the cost onto the middle class, I think is one of the central questions of the campaign. That was a clear and concise statement. He did good there. But here's the facts. Obama's claim that Romney wants to cut taxes by $5 trillion, you know what? It just doesn't add up. Presumably, Obama was talking about the effects of Romney's tax plan over the next 10 years, which is common in Washington. But Obama's math doesn't take into account Romney's entire program. Romney's proposed to reduce income tax by 20%, eliminate a state tax, and an alternative minimum tax. Now, the Tax Policy Center of Washington Research Group says that would reduce federal tax revenues by $465 billion in 2015, which would add up to $5 trillion over 15 years or over 10 years. However, Romney says he wants to pay the tax cuts by reducing and eliminating tax credits, deductions, and exemptions. The goal would be a simpler tax code. It would raise the same amount of money as the current system. And why are we going over this? First thing that happened when Reagan came in is he cut the taxes. What he did by cutting taxes increased revenue because you had more people coming into work. You had more people making more money. You had people investing. Tax revenues went up. When you cut taxes, tax revenues go down. The tax cut, and what they're basing this on, is that if these tax cuts come in, you'll have $465 billion less in 2015. That's based on the same amount of people that are working. If you cut the taxes, allow businesses to hire more people, get some of the regulations off of them, where more people working, you've got more people adding into the tax base at a lower rate. It happened already. This isn't fiction. I don't know why they call Romney on it, but they did. They called Obama on it, and rightfully so. Obama he doesn't have a vision of where this country's going. Cut the tax rate, you get more people into the tax pool, you generate more money, you have a stronger economy. Now, Romney said, what I would cut from spending, first of all, I would eliminate all programs by this test. If they pass it, the program is crucial enough to borrow money. Is it worth borrowing money from China? Now, facts are China continues to be portrayed by Romney and other Republicans as a poster child for runaway federal deficit. It's true. China is the largest federal holder of U.S. debt, but it represents only about 8% of the stake. China has recently been decreasing its holdings, according to the Treasury Department. Jesus, do you think that our credit rating going down might have been part of the reason? It's like a bank not giving you a car loan. It's not because they don't want the money. They're starting to think, hey, I'm not going to get this money back. Our credit rating's gone down. But, so yeah, China wants to call back. I don't see what the problem was, what Romney said there. No, Obama, independent studies looking at this said that the only way to meet Governor Romney's pledge not to adding to the deficit by, now, folks, I'm reading this. This is what the man said. This is not me stuttering. Independent studies looking at this said the only way to meet Romney's pledge of not adding to the deficit is by burdening the middle class. The average middle class family and children would pay about $2,000 more. Here's the facts. This is just one scenario. Obama's claim relies on a study by the Tax Policy Center, Washington Research Group. The study, however, has more nuances than Obama indicated. The study concludes that it would be impossible for Romney to meet all of the state goals without shifting some of the tax burden onto the people, and it would make more than $200,000 to the people who make less. One scenario of the study, Romney could result in a $2,000 tax increase for families making less than $200,000 and have children. Romney says his plan would raise taxes on everybody, and his campaign points to several studies from a conservative think tank that dispute the Tax Policy Center. Most of the conservative studies argue that Romney's plan would stimulate, once again, what I was saying before, it'll stimulate the economy, it'll generate more tax revenue. This happened under Reagan, remember? We're going to have to kind of wrap this up, but you get the picture of what's going on. I think one of the biggest ones is Obama said that what we've done, made some adjustments so that we're putting it before Congress right now, a $4 trillion plan. This comes in response from Romney saying that the Simpson Bowles, the president should have grabbed it. In the first place, the president did largely ignore the recommendations of his deficit commission. And that's from a Republican Urson Bowles, or Democrat Urson Bowles, Republican Ellen Simpson. We'd have been in better shape if he would have taken it. I'm going to take one real quick. You've got a minute, sir. How you doing?
How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing fine. What's going on?
I was just wishing I would have recorded that so I could watch it over and over again. Yeah. It was a great debate. I don't know. I know who I want to be president. That's for sure.
You bet. Well,
so, I don't know where the Democrats' heads are at or who wants to be a communist. I have family in the military fighting for 200 years to get a fighting communism, and now people are all just wanting to be taken care of. It's weird.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know what to do come election. I want to thank you for the call, sir.
All right. And have a good day, Peter.
You bet. We got to take our final break, and we'll wrap it up right after this.
Scoring touchdowns can leave you thirsty, but most drinks out there are high in calories and low in vitamins and minerals and lack a very important thing. The power behind the play. Milk from your local dairyman gives you that power. Low-fat and fat-free milk are naturally nutrient-rich, keeping you healthy and fit. So after the big touchdown, ask for quality, icy-cold local milk from your local dairyman. It's the power behind the play. Visit dairycouncilutnv.org.
If you want to advertise during this show, call Peter at 882-2865. That's 882-2865.
Well, welcome back to the show. We just got a minute or two here to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for calling. And, you know, it's important. We are 31 days away from this election. If you're not registered to vote, get out and register. Today is the last day for you to go out and register to get all of these things put together that you can get in and get in on this election and vote. It's going to be an important thing. I did not have the time to even, I just barely got through this debate, but one of the things that we're going to cover next week is the Cliff. It comes out of a small paper in Wisconsin, the Lakeland Times out of Minocqua, Wisconsin. The research that this man had done and what all of these tax plans and the implications from it are great. He did a lot of work on it. It's something that's really well worth going over. So we're going to cover that next week. Got a lot of things coming up over the next 4 shows. And that's all we got. We've got 4 shows until the election. So we're going to be talking a lot about election stuff. We'll kind of get back into some of the other things after the election. So I hope all of you have a great weekend. Enjoy your games, and we'll talk again next week.
There I was, back in the wild again, and I felt right at home where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before.